Moving on to Roddy Ricch, how he flopped with his new album. What is it called? Live Life Fast. Let me find it. So allegedly the first week's sales projections came up and they are 64K now. I got this from Instagram. A lot of pages are posting this, but goddamn, I don't know what the original projections were, but I believe, please excuse me for being antisocial or whatever it's called, Roddy Ricch's debut album, or I don't even know if it's his debut album, but it's his debut like studio album, maybe the one that had the box in it. And so that blew up. That had like 80 to 90K first week sales. And I actually looked it up where, let me look it up. Roddy Ricch, please excuse me, PEMF, right here. PEMF, is that the acronym for it? First week sales. I don't even think it exploited the merch bundle thing either, as in like using the merch bundles where every single piece of clothing that they sold also included a digital album sale. So I think it only had like 3K. Let me just type it in real quick. Please excuse me. Here we go. So doesn't this remind you of like the NBA YoungBoy Top album? So it sold 101K. Damn, so it's not even 80 to 90, 101K, including 3K pure album sales. So the rest of it was streaming. So Roddy Ricch went off. Now, again, since he's expected to do 64K and likely this is going to go down because usually projections go down throughout the week, since, as we always talk about, the projections are typically higher since the surge of streams is always like the first couple of days when the album releases. The box never dropped as a lead single though. I understand that, but it blew up and it was a lot of the sales. As I was saying though, so this will likely go down to like what, 61, 62K, unless they drop like a deluxe the first, actually no. Yeah, okay, so the album dropped last Friday, right? And we only have one more day. So right now, if the projections just came out, there's nothing they can really do because the album finishes its first week at midnight tonight, I believe. So yeah, it's going to come out to be like 62, 63. Again, unless they pull some funny business. And I personally think that this is... He said nowadays is the perfect time to be an artist, and also the worst. I mean, I always think about that. I'm like, if I was an artist, I would hate to be always in the public eye, because even if you drop an album and you're not even going for like high sales, people are gonna start calculating your numbers like Lil Pump and then like tell you you're a flop, but ultimately you got to know that this stuff is going to happen, and your label is supposed to be putting on for you, putting you on Spotify playlists, getting you big features. But as we talked about, Roddy Ricch took off Travis Scott and others, Kanye West, Drake, I think even like Snoop Dogg or something, off his album. So he could have gotten 80 to 90K, even above 100K. If he got Drake on there, that probably added like, I don't know, at least 10K first week sales just from Drake fans who are crazy. And also Drake's just the biggest artist in the game. But 64 going from 101K, like, I don't necessarily think that flopping is a just number that stands still. I think it has to do with like what are you expected to do based on your last album. So given that his first album, or first critical album, please excuse me for being antisocial, sold 101K, and his sophomore album is dropping like 2 to 3 years later, which I think is where he went wrong. He shouldn't have waited that long, because I feel like he fell out of relevance, even though 64K is actually still pretty good when you think about it. Like, how many streams is that? That's 64, let's look it up. 64,000 times 1,500 streams, that's 96 million streams, which isn't really that bad if you ask me, especially if it only had like what, 16 songs on it. So divided by 16, that's an average of 6 mil streams per song. That's actually pretty solid. But I think he just waited too long. Like, he should have fed the streets, if you will, with singles. And I guess he did with like that song with Mustard, unless that was on the last album. I don't remember. I'm not like the biggest Roddy stan. As I was saying though, so 64K is almost like half of Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial. And so with the expectation that he would go up in sales by progressing in his career and then going down so substantially, that's why it's a flop. So I'm gonna say it right here. Roddy Ricch flopped. Roddy Ricch flopped. And he kind of did it to himself, because as we discussed, let me go back to the album and see like who he put on the album. You know, I commend people who do solo releases because it just shows that they don't really care about the sales or whatever. But he did. He had Lil Baby on it, and Future, and 21 Savage, Kodak Black. And the ones with the features were low-key the ones that did the best out of all of them, except for Thailand, which was a solo. And Gunna. So he actually had the help. He just didn't do well. I just don't think the album was like that crazy. I never thought Roddy Ricch was that crazy though, to be honest. So I don't know why people hyped him up in the first place. I guess it does make sense that he had the #1 song in the country for so long with the Box. So maybe that's where he got all the hype. What if his label forced him to put features on Live Life Fast? Well, shit, good. If I was the label, I'd be like, no, Roddy, we're going to put Drake on the album so that you can sell at least 70K. And then I'd be like, okay, you know what? We are also going to put Kanye West on the album so we can boost it up another 10K. And TikTok, yeah. And also this, I mean, not to be that guy, but this album just didn't have any TikTok songs on it that could go viral. So that's another reason for the sales. It just, I don't know. It just didn't have that much hype, but we will see, because a lot of these albums nowadays that don't necessarily do well first week tend to grow on people and start doing better, especially for artists like Roddy Ricch, like who's like the big fat dude, Rod Wave. Rod Wave albums don't necessarily sell like 300K like Uzi, but he's literally outselling like every other artist just on a weekly basis. And same thing with Lil Durk. Same thing with who, like Moneybagg Yo, Lil Baby. So all of those types of artists that I feel like Roddy Ricch kind of affiliates with or falls in the category with. That's what it is. Just stop. This is CLB level trash. I didn't even think CLB was that bad. It definitely was not like a Drake level album. I don't think it was. It's like I'm not listening. Like Nothing Was the Same was my favorite Drake album, where every single song just hit. Like you're in your car listening to it. You don't even have a girlfriend yet you feel like you're in a relationship, getting emotionally unstable on a nightly basis, you know? I'm already just watering. My eyes are watering just thinking about it. You almost want your heart to be hurt when you're listening to old Drake. Whereas this Roddy Ricch shit, like it was all right. Like he was talking about his upbringing and him being poor before he made it and all that. But I don't know. It just wasn't that great. And yes, I'm drinking a mocha. I made myself a mocha. So it's got cocoa and coffee. But yes, you're right, Ram. At least Roddy Ricch hit 4K. He hit 64K. So, I mean, Roddy Ricch is still like a big dog, low key. I mean, actually, he's not. What was the standard for big dog? Being 100K? That's what academics said. So Roddy Ricch ain't a big dog. I don't even expect him to be a big dog. But all these pop fans and true hip hop fans, they can suck our dick. Because Cardi sold 105K, and they can't use the excuse of Roddy Ricch waited 2-3 years and lost all of his hype, because Cardi did the same shit, bruh. Cardi's a big dog. Roddy Ricch ain't a big dog. He's not even rich anymore because he lost all his money. Not actually. He's doing his thing. How much is the baby selling? I say, I don't even know. We got to get every homosexual and, I don't know, LGBTQ person to boycott that album. Cardi was able to gain the hype back. I don't even think he gained the hype back. He just always had the hype because everybody was on his dick for a whole lot of red. Just Roddy, like I didn't even know what the album was gonna be called until the week prior. Just I don't think it's like the Sofago thing as opposed to Yeet. Like I just don't think Roddy Ricch had enough credibility to even not drop for 2 to 3 years to build up hype. Whereas Cardi, like people were already getting hyped for Die Lit, and they even made him release the album early, panic drop it, because they leaked it. And so he dropped it, what, like a day or two later? So Cardi already had that cult following where I feel like Roddy Ricch fell victim to, yeah, he got a lot of fans from the box, but when you go pop like that and get a #1 single, you get a lot of fair weather fans, or just fans who are there for TikTok hits, and this album just didn't have TikTok hits, so his fan base is like super diluted, almost like what Uzi's going through right now, where he got so big from like EXO Tour Life that his cult is like not necessarily there anymore. There's a cult, but it's a smaller subgroup of his total fan base, whereas Cardi, like with Whole Lotta Red, he did something so different that he almost like warded off. He had like a cross and goddamn garlic and salt and shit, warding off all of the fans that didn't fuck with just him in general. So that's their problem. Can't wait for Mario Judah dropping. Bro, yo, I was actually, so I'm new to TikTok. I've been posting some videos there, so if you haven't already seen it, go follow there. I'm not very good at it yet, but I saw this lady with like a red afro underneath the metro. I think she was homeless when I was coming back from the grocery store or gym one day, and I was thinking like, I could get a TikTok and do like a little face cam thing, go up to her and be like, yo, when are you dropping new music? Or like do something to, I don't know, act like she was Mario Judah. Yeah, be like, yo, I found Mario Judah. But then I realized that would be super rude, and that this is why people hate TikTok kids. And I'm not gonna be a TikTok kid. I'm not gonna be a kid at all.